So last time we created auth app and we created a config which will open in the port 4001, and there's a prod one which will save the details into the production project 3 auth and the latest. And if I go to app live discussion, it is uh, then it will be saving in the project 3 app live latest. So this app live discussion is the container, and these are the small components, different components. So let's try to understand how things will work. So we have the main container. This is called the container, which will be our main application. It can be google.com or in.com, whatever .com you have, that will be the container. So user will come to see this container, and this container, if we want to use the login and all, so we will put that in the auth folder. We can call all this detail from the auth folder. Let's say there's a dashboard. So we will have another folder called dashboard. So this will call the dashboard from this module or this folder. Let's say there is another called as about us or some static pages. We put it in the separate folder. It's a separate React application. So some side pages about us, privacy terms, which will come from this folder. And let's say there is a form on any of the pages which will come from another folder called as React components. Here we will put all the form elements like input box, text box, switch, and many other whatever we want, we put it. So if this container wants some form element to display, it will not directly display the form, it will call from the React component. So this is how the micro frontend structure works. We create a different React application. So these all folders are own React applications. So container, whenever wants to call auth, they will call the auth or dashboard or about or React components. So tomorrow we want to move from material UI to some bootstrap, for example, again. So we will only do changes in the React components, and all the applications will get updated automatically because they are not directly calling material UI. They are calling the React components. So we will be updating here. So tomorrow, let's say if I want to change the login part, I will change only in this auth folder or auth React component, and wherever it is called will be updated automatically. So you don't have to deploy this also, this also, this also. Initially, what happened on olden days, the container is one folder and there is no separate React application. Auth is another folder. So tomorrow, if we change in the auth, this whole container has to be redeployed to the server and retested, kind of thing. So it's unnecessary work. We deploy everything, then we change only in the auth. So to avoid that, we will be creating micro front end. That is, we will be creating small React applications, which will be called in the main one. So let's say this is my one website 1. Tomorrow I create website 2 also. It uses the same auth application if I want same auth application. So I will not build auth again. I will call this web application auth to this website 2. So we don't have to work again and again. React component also, I will work one time and it can be called in web 2 or in the web 1. So this is something the basics of this one. So previously last time we only did the React application, and I was able to run the auth one. So let's try to run it again. It's a app1. Instead of app1, I will rename it to auth. So it's clear that we are in the auth one. So let's say it's auth one. Similarly, I was able to install this in container also. Let's say this is the container. So let's run it in the container also. Yeah, start. Let's see what is the so here also 4001 we should change this to a different one because 4001 is already taken by auth. So let's make it 4000 and let's start. So when this will start, it will start at the 40 and we are able to see the container. Any questions till now? Till two applications.
It's clear, sir.
Okay. So these are the different websites which we will be building, and there will be many more we will be building, and we will be calling the common components to this different one. So one of the more website, I will add one more new folder. Let's make it as a container. I will not name it anything in this one. I'll just put the container for easy understanding. So I will for some timing, I will not go to this app, live app posting, app remedy finder. We'll go this later. Right now, I'll go only in the container. So let me copy all the things of the live discussion to the container. I don't want to copy the node modules. I'll copy other folders. I don't want yarn.log. I will put all this in the container. So let me start here. Yarn install first. So we have the container and the auth one right now. So as we move along in the container is our main website. We will try to build new folders as we move along. Okay, so that's the idea behind this container. Now, till this get installed, let me explain one more thing, which we will be doing it now. So this is the container. Okay, this is the container. And let's say I have two React application. One is called the auth. It has login, logout, logout, and many more things. Forget password, register. These are the things which are in the auth application. And then there's a React component, another folder where we have input box, text area. So we have input box. We have text area and more here. Let's say another third folder will be there. It is maybe dashboard, just for namesake. So this main container will also call dashboard. If user goes to main home page, it will call the dashboard. Otherwise, if user go to login, logout, it will call from auth. Or if something is needed about the input box text area, it will go to React component. So this try to visualize this one. I will create another diagram now. Now there are two things which we have to remember in micro front end. Either, let's say this is the React component with input box and text area. So either my container or any folder, for example, auth, either this container can call this input box separately, this text area separately here. So we don't exposes the complete React component. We will only expose input box or text area, and those two can be taken by the container or auth. Or another approach is I will expose this whole auth folder, and this container will take the whole auth folder. So there are two things we have to remember. What are the two things? Either we can take individual components and put it in the container, or we can build the complete folder and expose it and this put it into the container. So these are the two things which we have to remember. Is that clear? These two things. Let me tell you again. Let's say auth has login, register. These are the two pages in the auth, and this is the container. Either I can expose this login separately and this register separately, and from container I can call login, I can call the register page from the container. Another approach is I will expose this auth completely, and container will call the auth, and then it will automatically log in to the login and register, because auth may have React router DOM inside, which will go to login or register itself. So there are two things. I can call the whole folder in the container, or I can call part by part. So we will see both the methods. Today we will concentrate on this individual one, calling one by one, and next time we will see how to call the whole folder into the container. It will be clear once we go ahead. Right now, since this is first time, you may feel a little confused. So I put the container. Let me start the container. Yarn start. So now my container is running at port number 4000, and auth is running at the 4001. For demonstration purpose, I will also create two folders which we will use it next time, but I will create it now, app1, and I will create another folder, app2. So these are the individual React components, the complete application, which I will call in container. So that is the method which I showed you. Let me clear it again a little bit. This is my container, and we have app1. It has different navigation, page 1, page 2, and then we have app2. It has another navigation, page 3, page 4. Then we have React components. It will have no different pages. It will have only the form component, for example, input box, text area, file upload, and many other components are there. So what I can do, I can call component from container, I can call this whole application 1, then it can navigate to page 1, page 2. I can call whole app 2 in the container, it can navigate to page 3, page 4. Or if there is a form somewhere, I will only call the input box. I will not call the whole React component folder. I will only call one by one wherever I need text area, input box. So we should be aware of both the methods, because sometimes you may need only to call the particular component, and sometimes you need to call the whole application. Now, many people prefer that container is there. Let's say this is the dashboard. This is the, let's say, we can say add or edit page, which comes from different folder. So they put all routing in the container. Routing is only in the container. Routing doesn't exist here. So when they want to call dashboard, they will expose this dashboard page, and they call the dashboard here directly. Routing only happens in the container. When they want to add, they call the add component, only add component, not the whole application. So every routing comes in the container. This is the easy one, so that because you have to handle routing only at the container level, and you have to just call the whatever component from different folder. This is the easy one and simple one, straightforward. Keep routing at the container level. Another method, you will see this all practically. I'm just explaining in short what things can be done. Another thing is, this is the container. It calls the app1 and it calls the app2. Now it has own routing here. App1 has its own routing here, and app2 has its own routing here. It goes to page 1, page 2, it goes to page 3, page 4, and container has its own routing also. It goes to page 5, page 6. So when we call the page 1, automatically we will write it will go app1, page 1 and page 2. And when we call the page 3, it will go to app2, page 3, page 4. And we call the page 5, page 6 separately. So routing is in each individual application, and we have to tackle that also. So this is another concept which we have to understand in the micro frontend. So a lot of things we have to do in micro frontend. It will take some time to go through all the examples and see how each one works. Okay, let's go to now one of the example, the one which I talked. Okay, React component. Okay, so I run the container, I run the auth. This app1, app2 will talk next time. I just created this folder. We have the React components. I will copy from auth to React component. Once I'm done with this one, then I will ask you to do the same thing. So I'll copy the config part, public source, and then getting node package JSON. It will copy it to the React component. Okay, React component has these two, so I will only copy config, public, and source, put it in the React components. Okay, and just only I will change the port number. Auth was using 4001, so here we will put 4002. Okay, so let's run this one. Okay, yarn install. Okay, so for today's exercise, what we will be doing, I'm putting in the document. Let's try to, so we have the microphone 2. Let's open this one. Okay, so here whatever we did last time is here. Since we will be seeing some new stuff, I'll create new one right now. So let's make the microphone 3 for today's one, so that you can copy easily. Okay, so let me, so I will put it everything here what you have to do today, and just you have to follow the steps here. Let me give you in the chat. Okay, so what we have to do, let's say create 3 folders. One is the container, another is auth, another is React components. Okay, in each of above folder, create config folder, create folders. Which folders? Config, source, and public folder. Now config as webpack.common.js and config webpack.dev.js, config.webpack.prod.js. Okay, so each of this folder we will be defining this one. Okay. Okay, in the public folder, we have index.html. In the source folder, let's see what we have in the source folder. We have the index bootstrap app. We have index.js. In the source folder, we have app.js. In the source, we have bootstrap.js. We cannot write directly everything in index.js, what we put it in the bootstrap.js. We have to put everything in the bootstrap and import in the index. So these are the important things which we have to write for our purpose. Now let me put everything and we have the package.json and the getting node. Let me add that also. And we have package.json file and .getting node. So I will put all the content here. Just copy it from here and put it and run the yarn install. So I will put it, copy code in each file and run yarn install and then yarn start and see if you're able to see the changes. So only thing you have to remember in the dev, you have to put different port. Cannot put all the port, same port here in container auth and this one. So let me mention that also here. So let's start with the common. I will put it in the common one. This is common. Let's put it in the dev. Let's put it in a prod. So you have to put all this one and then you have to run the yarn install. Right now there's a auth root everywhere, but will change in each application. So maybe I can write down here. ID should be auth root or root in the container or React component root in the React component folder. So if we are going to the container, just put root as ID. In the auth, put auth root. Otherwise, in future it will be problem. Right now it is not problem because we have not written any code. And in the React component, just name it to React component RC root. Okay, so just change this one. In the dev, I will mention. Okay, in the dev, I will mention use different ports for each folder, like 4001, 4002, 400, whatever you want to put, you put it, but put different ports. Okay, let's put the index.js. It will only import boot. It will only import the bootstrap. Let's in the put app. In the app, we will put so in webpack.dev.js, you have to change the port. There are two places you have to change it. One is here and one is here. Okay, so let's go to Bootstrap. In the Bootstrap, we just create the root and okay, so we just create the root and we mention the element by ID and then we call the render part. app push them index. Let's put the index.html part. I did, I think. Index.html is done. Now let me put the package.json. Let's put the package.json. And now last one is the getting node. Don't forget to update the getting node because that is where otherwise node modules will be uploaded to the server. Okay, so this is my third one. Let me refresh. Okay, so we have everything here, whatever you have to do today. Let me know once all these three folders are created and all run fine on the browser. Let me update the IDs for each one. So since we will be working in different projects, so we have to close all the files, otherwise it will be too mess. So wherever I want to work, one or two file I'll open and then I'll close. So this is 4002. Let me double check what is the auth one. Is 4001. Let's see container. Container is 400. So all have different ports. Let me change the ID. This is container, so I will only mention root. And I will, in the bootstrap, I will call the root only. Okay. And then for the React component, I will make the RC root. In the app, in the bootstrap, I will mention the RC root. Here I will mention the React component. Just few changes to know that which folder I am in. Okay, so in the bootstrap, I will just say RC root. Let's see if all three are working fine. So this is my 4000, this is 4001, and this is 4002. Okay, 4002 is not started, I think. Yeah, we restart the 4002. Yarn start. Okay, I think I have to run yarn install first. Yarn start. Okay, maybe package is not updated. Let me update the package file. In the React component, I will update the package.json. It doesn't have the start one. See, it doesn't have the start one. So I'll update the package. So we have RC. So my all three folders are running fine now. I added in the gitignore file what is here. So gitignore file dot gitignore is a file name. Need to add this whole content. If you don't add, then node module folder will be uploaded on the git and that will be missed. It doesn't it should not go to the git repo. So we are saying don't put in git and node module folder. So this everything will go into the gitignore file. No, let me know if all the three folders are created, then we'll move forward with the expose part and the remote. Is not accessible. Why it's not accessible? See. Okay, it looks like okay, maybe it looks like okay, looks like there's a okay. This is another URL. I don't know from where you got this URL. I didn't put 04. Uh, I didn't put 04 in the URL. I don't know why you got 04. This is a 012. Check in the URL. It should be 0112, not 04. I uploaded the video today, but you can go to this one. Last time we did 2 number. Whatever is here, you can go through this one. So today we did part 3. Still, we have to do one more thing before. So today we'll be having the container, and we'll build a sample component in the React components, and we will call the sample component in auth folder also and in container also. So once you're done with all the three steps, let me know. Then all three folders and all three folders should run separately like this. And then we'll start further. So yeah, so think of this, forget about last time, just create this three folder today, and it doesn't have to be a follow-up from the previous one. Okay, so those who are not done, they can continue doing it. Now we'll move further. So let's try to create one component in the React component. We'll be doing more, but today we'll do one component. Let's do the material UI any one component. I'll do one of the component. Let's do the card part, for example. Card. This is the card one, or we can use this one. Okay, or we can use simple our own custom application. Okay, so let me just stop all the yeah, I'll start. I'll stop. I'll close all the folders. Otherwise, it will be mess. So I will go to the right now. I'm not using any router DOM or routing part, which I will be doing next time. Right now, I'll just show you how to create a component, export from the React component, and call it in the another container or auth. So for example, I'll create one component in the source folder of the React components. I'll create a folder called as components, and in the components, I'll create a new file. Since this is the dummy file, so I'll just name it as dummy.js. We are not making real one. I just want to show you how we are using the dummy one. Create RSCE, and this dummy.js will have simple div one, and here I will create two div, one for title, one for body. So we have that for title here. This is a title and this is a body. So let me put some styling. I will just say styling of, let's say, width of 300 pixel plus I'll do for some basic one, border 10 pixel solid black, and put padding of 5 pixel. Okay, so this is the styling I'm giving, just one for some demo purpose. Same thing, I will give the styling to the title. I will say padding of 15 pixel, and then I'll say okay, that's what we will use the real components. For now I'm just putting some dummy value. Let's make it 400 pixel width. Okay, so we created one application. We created one component called as the dummy component, and we have to use this dummy component in the different folders like auth or container. So we will expose this component to the outside world and use it, different places. This one. Okay, so let's expose this one. Since we have to expose this from the React component, where should I put my changes, in the remote part or in the exposes part? Since I want to expose this to the outside world, where should I put this detail, in the remote part of the webpack, micro federation, expose part? So we have to put in the expose part because we have to expose this to the outside world. So let's put the details in the expose part of this one. So in the exposes, we have to put the key and then we have to put the value. Value is nothing but where the file is located. So it's in the /source. It will go to the source one, and then it will go to components. So you have to start from the /. So consider it is in the root one, though we are inside the config folder. Consider it's in the root one. So the source components. And in the components, I have the dummy.js file. So this is our location of dummy source components dummy.js. So we have to put value as this one, and the key can be anything, but it should start from /. So you can put anything, whatever you want. So for example, I will say dummy app. Okay, so what I name it as dummy app. And since this is the React component, let me change this auth to React components. You can name it anything. I'm mentioning it React components. Let's change it to prod also. And whatever I put it in the div, I will paste it in the prod also. So we have in the prod also. So what we did, the step, we went to webpack.dev for the React components and exposes our dummy app. Let me put in the document so you can easily access it whenever you want. Okay, so after all this, I will do create file source components dummy.js with following content. So I will create this one. Now update the webpack.dev.js and webpack.prod.js with following text. So here I will put only the updated part. Rest you to figure out yourself where you have to put it. So I'll put it here, expose this. So we are exposing. What we are exposing? We are exposing our dummy app. Like that, I can expose 100 components, 500 components, whatever I want, I can expose it. So if you see here, I have put it, expose this part here and dummy.js file. So we just created a dummy app and we expose the dummy app. Now we have to retrieve this dummy app inside our auth or inside our container. Let's try to import in the container, for example. Okay, let's try to import in the container. And then we can also import it in the auth also. Let's do it in both the places. So this is something I want in my container and auth. So we will be putting code at both the places. Since I want to receive this dummy app, whether I will put it in the remote or expose this part. I will call it in the remote or expose this. This is called module federation because we are using module federation here. Module federation is a module plugin which is used for macro content. Let's change this to name to container also, and in the prod also I'll change it to container. So tell me one thing. Now I want to receive this dummy app inside my container, whether I will put it in the remote part or expose this part.
Please come again, sir.
In the remote part. So because exposure is something we expose, and in the remote we receive. So we have to update the remote part in the container and also into the auth one, wherever we want to call. If I don't want this dummy app in the auth, then I will not put in the remote section of the auth. But if I want the dummy app in the auth, then I will put it in the remote part. Right now I want this dummy app in the container, so I will put it in the remote part. Here also we have two, one key and value, key and what you call as key and value, right? So now the thing is that we have to get this one. We have to get the dummy app. We expose the dummy app, but we don't want to import the dummy app. We will be importing the remote entry only, and the remote entry will have dummy app automatically there. So when I want to accept this part, when I want to call this one, so I will here put the React components. I will put the React component, and here I will say the name of the component. What is the name of the component? React components. And then I have to put at the rate, and here I have to give the location. Location is what? HTTP 4002. So I'll put HTTP localhost 4002. After 4002, I will say remote entry.js. So what I did, when I go to container, in the remote section, I call the component. Which component I have called? The React component. And inside, this is the key. You can put this key, anything, X, Y, Z, anything. Where it goes to React components, which comes from here, the name which we have given. And after that, you have to give the location of the remote entry file. So where is the location of the entry file? At 4002 remote entry.js. It's easy. We can put the same name for better understanding purpose. Otherwise, you can give anything here, and this should come from this part. Okay, so the remote part of the container will be like this. Let me update in the document. Now in container webpack.dev.js add following code. Okay, so we are adding in the remote section of the container. So before we really go into checking if it is really there, we'll go to this file and see if what we are able to see. We'll see this one. Okay, let's do that. So for 4002, 4002 is the React component. Let's go to React component and start it. Yarn start. And we'll try to go to this file and see what we have. So it's a common JS JavaScript file, and we'll try to search. We'll try to search our dummy app. So this is the dummy app. You will see I was able to find the dummy app, and it does some coding which we don't care about what coding they put, but at least I'm able to find a dummy app which I mentioned it here. So that means dummy app is exposed in the remote entry JS file, which I was able to take it here. Okay, so I'm able to take this here. Now what? Now when I run the container, let's run the container. Okay, so this is my container. Now I will call this dummy app in the container and see how it looks, kind of thing. Okay, so we have to call this dummy app in the container. Okay, so let's do that one. So we will go to, let me close all this one, because once it is done, we don't care about it. Now I'll go to the container. Right now we don't have router there, so I will do it in the app only. So if I go to the here, we are seeing the container, and I want to see this dummy part below this container. So this container, I will put it in one H1 tag, for example. So this is container. Below container, I want to get the dummy app from the where we have placed it. So to get it, we have to import that. We have to import that dummy app here. I'll import dummy app equal to. We have to use lazy whenever we try to import from the micro front end. We have to use a lazy one. And in the lazy, we have arrow function. And then we import. What we import? We have to import the dummy app here. So let's see how to import a dummy app. If I go to web dev, first we have to take this key. What is this key? React components. So I'll put the React components here. Slash. What we have to take this key? If it is XXXX, we have to take here XXXX. Okay. Right now it's React components. So we will take it as a React component. And then we have to call the dummy app which we mentioned in the React component. In the React component, what we mentioned is a dummy app like this. So I'll put it dummy app here. So see the method how we are trying to get it. This is the key which we define here. And this is something which we define here, this dummy app. Before I really use it, I want to see whether something is coming for dummy app or not. So I'll do console.log. Okay, let's see what we're getting in the dummy app. So dummy app, we get something, object, that means something is coming. We have to just now use it. So below container, I will call the dummy app like normal component. So you will see this title and body is coming here. So what we did in the app.js of container, we imported the dummy app and then we used the dummy app. So let me update the document and then we'll try to customize it more. Now go to container source app.js and update the code as follows. Okay, so now you can grab it from here also. So this is something you have to update in the app.js, and we are able to see something from the React components. So try to import it and try to run how it is going. It's a remote section, REMOTES, remote section. You have to update it like this. And in the expose part of the React, update the webpack of folder React components with the following text. So let me know if you are able to see the title and body, which is coming from the different application of the React inside the container.
So what is the /dummy app, sir? That is, we can give any name like that, or
Yeah, you can give any name you want it. Right now we have dummy app, if you see here. So tomorrow you can give dummy one app, ABC, CD, C, whatever app name you give, you have to call it here with that name. Make sure it's a unique because you will be working in in this React component, it should be unique. Otherwise, it will not work. You cannot give you cannot give two names with the same dummy app. For example, see, if you try to copy same name, it will give this red box. Cannot have two names, same name. So anyhow, it's forcing you to have one single name. So I put dummy because this is just to show the example, and then we'll move to the real one with input box, with text area and all. So the thing is, two things you have to remember. You have to export something from the component and you have to import. Import is not import, it is called remote. And here, since we are working in the local host, we are putting local host. For the production, we'll not put this local host. We have to put the proper domain name, which we'll be using it. So once this is done, we will do something about the production part. Let me know if you're able to access the dummy app in the container. So question is, first is dummy app. I answered the dummy app can be give any name. Remote.
Yeah, I got
In
it.
the remote, you're putting React component. So wherever you want to call the React component, you have to update, you have to put in that remote. So right now I put it in the container. So tomorrow I'll be using React component in the auth also. So I'll be copying this to the auth folder also. Right now I'm only putting in container, but afterwards I'll put it in the auth also. So wherever you want to use it, right now dummy app I'm using it in the container. So I'll be putting in container. Tomorrow I want to use it in the auth. So I'll be using it in auth. Right. So once you do changes in the config, you have to restart this all this yarn and try, because sometimes you get it could fail because you might have not restarted it. So if you do any remote or expose change, you have to restart your app and try again. Is it working? Any issues? Okay, so those who have completed and working, try to call this in the auth folder and in the app of the auth folder and see if you're able to do that. Don't do now. After class, you can do this. Put it in the auth folder. Now we can customize this to whatever way we want by passing the props here, like title and body, and the title can be called here as a title, which we will do next time, not today. So for today, just homework is you to call the same thing in the auth folder and try to see if you're able to call the dummy one. Next time we'll put the props, we'll create more components, and we'll call those components also in the container and auth. Any questions?